In the grim darkness of the far future, there are thousands of incredible characters, warriors and stories to be covered. But today, I want to help you guys out and give you a list of 10 legendary Space Marines that have not only set themselves apart from other basic Astartes, but have proven their worth 100 times over and have some of the most amazing lore I have ever read. After this video, you will have a plethora of incredible characters to research more into, get completely inspired by, and flex your newfound lore knowledge on your unsuspecting friends. Alright, time to get into the lore. Number 10. Gabriel Angelos. Gabriel is not only the chapter master of the Blood Ravens chapter, but is also regarded as the greatest hero to have ever lived throughout its entire history. A massive space marine in Tartarus tactical Terminator armor, wielding the mighty demon hammer Goldsplitter even though he isn't a psyker. And a mind so quick and sharp that even the Eldar couldn't manage to influence the valiant Astarte. Few would be able to come up with anything to smother the chapter master's history, but through all his heroics and timely interventions, Gabriel has a history riddled with both failure and terrible setbacks. His own father would turn against the will of the Emperor and plunge the chapter's recruiting planet of Cyrene into chaotic worship, forcing Gabriel to request extermination from the Inquisition along with the Grey Knight cohort. Gabriel would accidentally release terrible evils, allowing not only an ancient demonic entity to escape, but also releasing a bloodthirster and its entire demonic army on the planet of Archeron. Gabriel sacrificed almost everything and everyone to stop these chaos incursions, but as the Great Rift tore throughout the galaxy, he and his entire chapter would be cut off from the Imperium for multiple centuries, only barely making it out alive through sheer determination and absolutely masterful leadership. Number 9. Bjorn the Fell-Handed. The last of the company of Russ, the eldest space wolf, True Claw, the Revered One. Bjorn is a legendary ancient Astartes dreadnought, a man broken in body but not in spirit. He is the only recorded Astartes that has been in active service for over 10 millennia, fighting together with not only his Primarch, but remembering engagements together with the Emperor of Mankind himself. Although not much is known about Bjorn's origins, his tale of greatness and honor would start during the horrifying days of the raising of Prospero. Bjorn had been part of the Council of Nicaea and would take great satisfaction in slaughtering the Thousand Sons Psykers. Even though he lost his arm to a demonic spell, Bjorn would keep fighting as if nothing had happened at all. A smart and ruthless warrior, Leman Russ heavily respected Bjorn and would regularly ask his son for counsel. It was Bjorn who suggested the Space Wolf Legion must do more than blindly follow the Emperor as his executioners, but also try to discover their own destiny. Bjorn would be laid low almost a millennia after his father had left, yet was saved in the very last moment to be rightfully interred into a dreadnought frame. Bjorn never forgave himself for his failure, but through 10,000 years of continual service, giving incredible strategic advice, tearing apart foes with unnatural speed and skill, and remembering the ancient tales as a first-hand witness, the True Claw of Fenris awaits his father's return, waiting for the wolf time to finally arrive and knowing that his legendary duty has finally been fulfilled. Number 8. Tushan. Tushan, the chapter master of the Salamanders, embodies everything it means to be a true son of Vulcan. His ideals of compassion and self-sacrifice have earned him great respect and admiration by both his Astartes brethren and the humans who serve alongside him. Bearer of the title of the Regent of Prometheus, Tushan is a powerful individual, even by Space Marine standards. His dominating frame is draped in the cloak of a 300-year-old salamander. His face is covered in self-inflicted honor scars, and his wargear has been reforged dozens of times in the fires of true perfection throughout the centuries of continual service. Although Tushan's appearance may intimidate onlookers, there will be no finer space marine to be stood shoulder to shoulder with in the trenches of war. During the Second War of Armageddon, Tushan was witnessed holding a bridge against 1,000 orc speed freaks almost completely by himself. Standing doubtless and unwavering against the face of the Great Green Tide, Tushan fought non-stop for 3 days and 3 nights, earning the praise from the Blood Angels leader Commander Dante himself, and being honored in front of the assembled Blood Angels. Tushan will fiercely uphold his Gene Father's ideals and will even risk censure by challenging other leaders to make more compassionate choices, such as the time he engaged in a fistfight with the captain of the Marines Malevolent after they recklessly shelled a refugee camp. Needless to say, if you're in need of the assistance of the Emperor's angels themselves, Tushan will allow no harm to ever come to you, unless you are a Xeno child. Number 7. Tyberos the Red Wake. Probably the largest Astartes to have ever existed, Tyberos' name is whispered with great fear across the halls and crowds of the Imperium of Mankind. Although not much is known about this silent hunter, what his origins are, or even why his chapter came to be, Tyberos the Red Wake has cut out a bloody legacy in only a couple of recorded incidents. First seen during the Battle of War, where Luft-Huron would lead a near legion of Maelstrom Wardens against the Imperium in an open tax evading rebellion. Tyberos and his Carcharodons would randomly show up to reinforce the Imperial forces. Allowing themselves to be checked in both legal terms and psychological tests, the Shade Lord and his forces would set a terrifying prospect for what was to come for the rebels. Although nearly silent during meetings and never taking his helmet off, Tyberos is a true force to be reckoned with, wearing customized tactical dreadnought armor to fit his massive frame, carrying hunger and slake to quickly cut and shred Astartes apart in mere seconds, and moving with the natural pace of a hungering hunter. Tyberos will be able to take down even the mightiest of Imperial heroes. Number 6. Calder Drago. The man, the myth, the legend. Calder is well known for his terrifying wrath and skill in both reality and the warp. Facing a greater demon of Tzeentch twice, he succeeded in slaughtering the magic chicken, but was cursed to wander the endless waste of demons and gods inside the warp. Besides being 40K's version of a literal doom guy, Calder is a truly unsung hero amongst the Imperium. On multiple occasions, Drago has single-handedly stopped Chaos threats, murdered influential demon princes, and carved his chapter master's name into the heart of Mortarion himself as the biggest flex in the known universe. A popular fan theory regarding his insane strength and protection against the warp is that this mad lad holds the noble soul shard of Magnus the Red, perhaps the strongest psyker in the setting, giving him not only unnatural strength and willpower, but an almost limitless protection against the constant mental assaults of the demons in the warp. Number 5. Commander Dante. Louis Dante is by far the oldest living Space Marine chapter master to this date. With over 1500 years of experience, Dante has been leading the Blood Angels chapter long enough to see them be almost completely wiped out on multiple occasions. Dante started out as a sickly unpromising child, but through sheer determination and the intervention of the Sanguinor, Dante managed to complete the trials to become a Blood Angel warrior. Fighting together with his chapter for multiple centuries, he slowly grew through the ranks of the chapter. The Blood Angels will be whittled down to less than 200 warriors remaining during the 14th millennium, and with Dante being the only captain left alive, he was elected to become the new chapter master, banishing Skarbrand to the warp, wiping entire tendrils of Tyranids, and believing himself to be a part of a prophecy that has him act as the last true defender of the Emperor of Mankind. He keeps pushing on, becoming the Lord Regent of Imperium Nihilus and crossing the Rubicon to help him with his aging bones and muscles. Even though deep down he wishes for the sweet release of death, he knows that he has to keep on going, and as the golden visage of the angel strikes from the sky, he demolishes anyone that dares stand in the Blood Angel's way. Number 4. Ranor. Ancient Ranor, also known as Ranor the Unyielding, is the legendary and probably fan favorite venerable Emperor's Children Contemptor dreadnought. A man of unyielding fate, an intense sense of duty, and perhaps the greatest show of willpower in the entirety of 40K's history. Ranor was one of the original 200 Terran-born Emperor's Children, surviving the blight that destroyed massive parts of his young legion, but surviving long enough to witness the reunification with his Primarch, Fulgrim. Being one of the most honored brothers during the entirety of the unification of Terra, Ranor would fight alongside the Emperor and be the first to carry the Palatine Aquila. After being grievously wounded during combat with the Eldari, Ranor would be interred into his Contemptor frame, becoming the master of ceremonies and the ancient of rites. Seeing his legion slowly degenerate troubled the old warrior to his very core, and as Saul Tarvitz was commanded to fight on the surface of Istvan Tree, Ranor opted to take his place instead, worrying for a great change that was to come. His horrifying feelings were proven right as a rain of virus bombs obliterated all life forms on Istvan Tree. Ranor led a large force of surviving Space Marines against their former brothers, slaughtering thousands of them in a righteous retaliation. The dreadnought would be left buried underneath a broken palace, slowly but surely managing to repair a virus bomb that had randomly failed to explode with only one functional arm. When the now demon Primarch Fulgrim heard of his survival, Ranor sprung his trap, obliterating the Primarch and his retinue of 2,000 traitor Marines with his virus bomb, and finally feeling true peace after 10,000 years of patient preparation. Number 3. Jubil K, the Lord of the Summer Lightning and the death that comes with laughter. A truly fearsome and skillful warrior, Jubil K was a renowned White Scars captain from the Horus Heresy era, with probably the best title I have ever heard. This Terran-born Marine first distinguished himself during a practice duel on the White Scar's homeworld of Chigoris. He caught the keen eye of his gene father, Jagadai Khan, who saw the true potential this man had to offer to his legion. Jubil Khan was offered the honor of commanding the Kashik, an elite cadre of White Scar's most proficient and deadly warriors. But after much consideration and weighing his options, Jubil opted to refuse. He was now instead bestowed the title Master of the Hunt, allowing him to range across the great galactic plains, spreading fear into the heart of those who dared oppose his Primarch's will. Jubil's final recorded act was while in command of the White Scar's battleship Lance of Heaven during the Solar War. He took up his fabled Guando blades to fight off in a zero-gravity duel with the infamous Abaddon the Despoiler, giving his life in service of the Imperium and his great Khan, but showing the filthy traitor what true honor and dedication meant. It is doubtless that Jubil Khan met his fate without fear and with laughter in his heart, living and now dying in the way he so dearly loved until the very end. Number 2. Caven Shri, the Master of Shadows. Bringing death from above with his mastercrafted lightning claws, the Raven Guard's current chapter master rose from being a hive-ganger to being elected to lead the chapter by his fellow shadow captains. A tactical mastermind, Caven has often proved invaluable to victory in otherwise impossible campaigns across the Imperium, such as during the Wars of Targus, where thanks to Shri, the campaign was completed decades ahead of any predictions by Imperial tacticians. Caven fought side by side with the White Scar's captain Korsaro Khan against the demon prince Kurnax Voldorius, which had corrupted an entire planet's military forces, bringing them into the service of the honorless Alpha Legion. Having crossed the Rubicon Primaris, Caven Shri has since taken the fight to the filthy Orc Xenos during the Battle of Zaladin, ensuring disputes between the Iron Hands and Imperial Fists did not escalate into full-blown conflicts. As long as the Master of Shadows continues to command the Raven Guard, rest assured that no enemy of the Imperium will stand under the open sky without fear in their hearts, waiting for the Shri to descend on pinions of fire to deliver the Emperor's judgment. Now before we get to number 1, I want to quickly mention the most badass space marine out there, Asterion Moloch. For those that don't know, I did a 4-minute explainer on him in Mr. Bones 5 Chapter Masters YouTube video. It's a great piece of content that includes 5 really excited, and I have to say, very talented 40k tubers. So if you haven't already, go check out that video and give him a fat thumbs up. Now for the final legendary space marine you need to know about. Number 1. Logan Grimnar, the Great Wolf, or in Imperial terms, Chapter Master of the Space Wolves chapter. Logan is a truly headstrong and watchful leader. Called Old Wolf by his brothers, the 7th century old warrior has become a true legend among civilians and hopeful guardsmen across the galaxy. On more than one occasion, Logan has spoken out against the Inquisition, calling them out for their useless practices, abuse of power, and disregard for human life. The Great Wolf remembers the months of shame, forever holding a grudge against the organization that made his warriors bleed for nothing and allowed an entire population to be methodically sterilized and replaced without a second thought. Logan Grimnar rides into battle on his unique warrior chariot, wearing massive rune-covered Terminator armor while widely sweeping his ancient axe Morkai into crowds of unlucky traitors and renegades. The Old Wolf is a truly beautiful sight to behold, and even Magnus the Rat, one of the most powerful psykers to have ever existed, met his match with this absolutely incredible warrior. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something new or just really enjoyed the characters I covered today. What legendary space marine is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys enjoy the most. Don't forget the official Gaming Storyteller Discord is now open to the public, so click the link in the description below to join us in what is quite frankly a really fun little chaotic place. New main videos are coming every week and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.